Okay, so I wanted to hop on and say that I am moving out of my pre-creation phase into the next phase. And if you're thinking, like, wow, that's fast, if you've been watching these videos, I've actually unknowingly been working on this album since like January. When I go into my folder of all these finished ideas that I have, the first date on my finished ideas actually something like January 28th or January 23rd. I'm always constantly making music, and so in like late June, early July, I was like, let me go through all the things that I've kind of created and see, like, is there something here? Is there something that I can turn into an album? And so I was searching through all my folders and kind of picking things out, picking things apart, putting them into one bigger folder, and finding like, wow, I actually have a shit ton of things that I think would be perfect kind of for an album. So since then, I've kind of been powering through, making a whole bunch of ideas, and so I'm moving out of the pre-creation phase into this phase. In this creation phase, I kind of want to talk about like how it's different from my pre-creation phase, and then talk about kind of what's going to happen in this phase. So the first reason that this is different is if I look into the folder that I currently have with all of my stuff for this album, all of the things, all of the files are titled the name, the date that they were made on, and then finished idea. Now, if I go into my music making software, it's going to have two different views. It's going to have this session view, which looks like this, and this session view is kind of a way for me to sketch ideas, and it's also something that you can use for live performance. And then there's also this, which is the arrangement view. Now, if you look at all of my finished ideas, this arrangement view, completely blank. So it means that all of the ideas that I have, they're not actually turned into a full song yet. It's just an idea. I kind of liken this process to like baking a cake. So this finished idea that I have is all the ingredients that I have gathered to bake my cake. I have my sugar and my flour and my eggs and my milk and whatever else I'm going to use for that cake, but I haven't actually put them together, put them in the oven, and a cake has not come out yet. So in this creation phase, a big thing that I'm doing is I'm taking all of these finished ideas, of which I currently have 29 finished ideas, and I have to turn every single one of those into an arrangement. So my first kind of big overarching goal for this creation phase is to take those 29 finished ideas and then turn them to an arrangement. Mix all the cake ingredients together and see what comes out. And then my second kind of big overarching goal right now in this creation phase is to listen to all of those 29 finished arrangements and make a very quick snap judgment, gut reaction. Do I like it? Do I not like it? I want this album to be something where I'm truly in love with every song that's on it, and I don't want to feel like I have to make myself in love with it. I don't want to have to feel like, oh, well, if I just changed this, I would love it. Or if I just changed that, I would love it. I want to love the initial idea and then work to consistently make it better. So I want to start off with something that really, I feel like in my heart, in my soul, in my chest, I'm like, yes, I love this. I'm proud of it. So those are kind of my two overarching goals. Make a bunch of finished arrangements, listen to all of those arrangements, and make my first snap judgments. Now, this creation phase is probably going to be the phase that I spend the most time in, and there's a couple reasons for that. Number one, I'll make an arrangement and then I'll constantly tweak it and refine it. So when I look at my project, like file names, they'll be like arrangement 1, arrangement 1.2, arrangement 1.3, however many tweaks it takes for me to really get it to feel like this is kind of the perfect skeleton for this project. This is what I want this song to sound like. The second reason that I spend a lot of time in this phase is I tend to overthink this phase. This is kind of the phase where maybe outside voices kind of will influence my process, but even more so like my own inside voices. When I'm in the studio working on finished ideas, I kind of am really able to just shut out all of those outside ideas or like expectations that I have for myself and just create. And it's very much in the flow state. This definitely kind of gets interrupted, and it's a very rocky process. I'm trying to kind of mitigate that this time around. On all of my previous projects, I've never really showed anybody the whole process. I've never showed them the things that I've created, and I think there's maybe a couple reasons for that. Probably trying to protect myself, maybe from outside criticism, or, you know, I don't want to have to change something that maybe I think I'm in love with. I get too close to it. Another reason is maybe I think a lot of us music artists, and I guess artists in general, we kind of want to drum up like excitement for things. So we think that keeping things a secret like protects our work and makes it better. But I'm actually trying to fight against that this time around. And I really want to be able to show all of the parts of this process and invite feedback from others. So I'm hoping that through this creation phase, I can really send out songs to other people and gain their notes and their constructive feedback and kind of not be so close to the project, whatever the song is. Because I think sometimes I'll spend too much time listening to it, or too much time tweaking it, or too much time overthinking what it could be, instead of actually taking a step back and gaining another perspective. So this process is going to be a little bit long because there will be times that I'm going to force myself to take a break, force myself to stop listening to the songs, maybe go work on something else because I'll feel too close to it. That's something that I can kind of already anticipate is going to happen. And just the actual work side of it takes a long time. It takes a long time to take a finished idea and turn it into an arrangement. It takes a long time to take that arrangement and then really tweak it and refine it and move things around and change parts. And it takes a long time to listen back to the music and make judgments and make notes. But yeah, I kind of wanted to just hop on, tell you about this new phase that the project is kind of moving into, and hopefully throughout the next couple of videos with whatever I'm showing you, hopefully I want to show you how I arrange something, but I'd like to invite some feedback and some constructive criticism, and hopefully kind of gain an outside perspective, see my songs through somebody else's eyes to ultimately make them better. Because I mean, that's the goal, right? To create the best art that I possibly can. But yeah, thank you for watching. Peace until the next video.